Welcome everyone. G-Man is here, Gunner, and we're going to be doing our week 2 recap college football of what our did our preview. We're going to be going over those games, recapping them, and then we're going to be also doing kind of a round robin recruiting updates to various teams. And so yeah, let's get into it, guys. We have a lot to talk about. So the first game, and it was really the big game of the week. It was Texas versus um, Michigan, and I gotta say, it was a pretty much a blowout, dominating fashion, 31-12, as you can see. Texas, the winners on the road. Ewers 246, three tutties. Uh, they had good rushing, and they were kind of seeing they were doing variety of things. Obviously, they're using running backs. They use their uh, wide receivers as well. Wingo, he had 55 yards off just one carry. So they were very explosive. They were getting the ball out quick, and I think that's really the recipe with this Michigan defense. Their offense is non-existent. They have issues at the quarterback position, and it's just not a good look. Next game we're going to be talking about here is the Oklahoma State versus Arkansas. Man, this was a pretty much a shootout and just a slugfest. Double OT is what it took for the Cowboys to win it at home. Again, 39-31. They just at the end of the day made more plays and were able to get over that hump. I mean, Arkansas. They threw for over 416 yards. They ran the ball with 149 off one guy. I mean, Ollie Gordon only had 49 yards off 17 carries. To be honest, it's pretty insane just looking at these stats from a player's perspective. But I'm sure when you start getting to the team stats, I mean, you're turning the ball over three times, two of them being fumbles. Obviously, that gives the opportunity to the other team, being Oklahoma State, and that's really the issue for Arkansas on why they lost this game. And I'm sure that's what Sam Pittman's really harping on this week is taking care of the ball, and you can win some games because I mean their offense is pretty explosive in my opinion so far. All right, next one here is Tulane versus Kansas State. Kansas State comes back in the second half and beats Tulane 34-27. They were down 20-10 going at half, and they put up 24 points in the second half. Avery Johnson wasn't spectacular, only 181 yards, two tutties. Giddens, though, running back, 19 carries, 114 yards. They were able to take care of the ball as well. They had no turnovers, and they forced two turnovers, one being a fumble and an interception. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to in most of these games, right? Is who can take care of the ball, who's being efficient on offense, who's playing good defense, who can tackle, and, turning the ball over. All right, next one here, and it's not really going to be showing um, a sorry a final score, but it's Syracuse versus Georgia Tech. 31-28 was the final score, and this was a sneaky good game in my opinion. This should have been on like a ESPN Plus, ESPN, ESPN2, FS1, just something not ACC network. But hey, that's good for the network. Um, Syracuse, upsets Georgia Tech after beating Florida State. And this is kind of what I've been harping on and saying so far this year is the ACC is a wild, wild west. It's that new Pac-12, basically, you could say, or Big 12 as well. Big 12 normally kind of beats on each other, um, and they can make a run. They don't play create a lot of the big time teams. I think they play one of them. I forget who off the top, but just shout out to the offensive team. Shout out to the staff. And wow, Syracuse is making a run. All right, next one is Utah versus Baylor. Utah wins 23-12. Unfortunately, Cam Rising though did leave this game. He um, I believe it was in the first half, and then he was his throwing hands. He should be good. I mean, we'll find out later this week and whatnot if he plays this week or later this month. But yeah, they were up pretty much 23-3 at half, and just couldn't move the ball in the second half. That's probably due to Cam Rising having Isaac Wilson, Zach Wilson's brother. Kind of just coming in and in a situation he didn't expect. Still got to be better, right? I think that's what probably the teams is harping on is regardless of who's QB, we gotta move the ball as an offense. But yeah, they're ready to play good defense and keep the lead. Next one here is Iowa State versus Iowa. Good old rivalry of the state of Iowa. And shout out to Iowa State. They came back and won in the second half. Basically, they got all their points in the second half. They were down 13-0 at half. Iowa was rolling. It looked like, and maybe that's what the team did. They just kind of overlooked what they were, what the real mission and not finishing. And they only gave up 6 points in the second half while scoring 20 points in the second half. Iowa State, they caused two INTs, and that was really the deciding factor, and they were able to get the game winning field goal. So shout out to Iowa State. Sucks for the Cyclones, but hey man, you gotta figure out that offense. All right, next one: Tennessee versus NC State. All you can really say is just a blowout. Uh, Interesting. Nico did have 2 interceptions, so that is fascinating. You want to still try to contain the ball and whatnot, but their rushing attack right now is insane. Samson 20 carries, 132 yards off 2 tutties. But at the same time, they turned the ball over less. Tennessee's defense is relatively pretty good, I'd say. 3 turnovers, 2 of them being fumbles, 1 of a interception, and again that rushing attack. So it's a good recipe right now, and I know they have a big game coming up in a few weeks against Oklahoma. It's kind of just starts the conference play and all that. All right. Lastly, here is which I did not get is Nebraska versus Buffalo. So Nebraska, they win 28-10. Pretty much. Colorado. This game is basically over at half, 28-0. Colorado scores 10 points in the second half. It's kind of what we expect from Colorado. We didn't think the defense was improved. We didn't think the O line was improved based on the games that we seen prior to this, right? Week 1, and Nebraska has a really good defense. Has a okay to good offense right now. I think they're not satisfied. You didn't score any points in the second half against the Colorado defense. I think you could have made adjustments. And then figured something out. But hey, they took care of the ball, didn't turn the ball over, and were able to hold on to the ball and play the clock basically. All right, apologies about that. I thought I had the graphic already up, but we move. So we're into the recruiting section. So before we get into more of the guys, real quick. Yeah, hey, let me know what you guys thought of week 2. I thought it was a good overall weekend, man, for college football. Definitely enjoyed it, and looking forward to just more Saturdays of college football. All right, so recruiting updates. We got a hand of some commits. Got some updates. What's going on after this weekend? With these kids, they travel to these games, and we get some intel from that. So. First one is Xavion Griffin Hayes. He is an Edge 2026 kid here. He chooses Tar Heels, as you can see, over Ohio State, Miami, Tennessee, and NC State. So big time get. Hopefully they can solidify his commitment throughout this next year or so. Next one here is Myron Charles, D tackle, one of the top D tackles out there, like pure D tack, zero tech, right? 2025 kid. He flips to Texas over from Florida State. So huge loss for Florida State, big get for Texas. Somebody that I know USC has been involved in the past, but it just hasn't transpired to anything committable. But shout out to Texas and big get for them. Next one here is another Texas school. Rashad Johnson Jr., safety 2025 kid. He flips to Texas A&M from Georgia. So big get for Texas A&M. They've been really solid in getting these good 4 stars, a few 5 stars, and just really paving the way and getting a good solid class. Next one here is Walter Mathis Jr., a D lineman, commits to LSU over Miami, Clemson, and Auburn. So this is a big get. I think anytime you can get a big time D lineman um, for any school is a huge thing. I mean, you got to get the trenches, man. If you can perform and develop the trenches, you're going to do good in college football and in football in general. All right, so we have some few updates here. So right here, this is a 2025 linebacker, Tarvos Tarvos Alford, excuse me, Ohio State commit right now for the Buckeyes. Miami, they are pushing on this kid. He is a Florida kid, so that's kind of with the being close to the program and how Miami has started. They're definitely kicking the tires on this. They're pushing and seeing if they can get a flip. So just kind of stay tuned for any more news on him. Couple news on the USC front. Jerome Miles, pretty much the top player in Utah, goes to Corner Canyon. Big time prediction from the Fong Bong. He predicts that he will be a future Trojan. We'll see as things transpire throughout this month. I know he wants to commit October 30th. We'll see if that gets moved up, but definitely a big visit he had. He loved it, and sounds like we are definitely leading the pack. I know Georgia, Ohio State, Utah, and Texas A&M are also involved in his recruitment right now. Big get here for also the Trojans after this big weekend. The other official visitor, Ty Jackson from Florida, big time top linebacker out there. At least from one's perspective. I mean, it is what it is. I think all these guys are very talented recruits and prospects out there. Yeah, he chooses the Trojans after a big weekend after beating Utah State 48-0, and just a huge gift from Coach Henney and the crew and Coach Hens. All right, I think the last one, yes, the last one here is 2025 Edge Javion Hilson. He's got a Fong Bong to Texas, as you can see here. So he recently decommitted from FSU, and this is kind of that Texas is basically just picking on Florida State right now and kind of taking a few of their guys that they had due to their rough start. Right, they're 0-2, and I mean that's the game, man. This is the whole thing with recruiting and in college football, man. You you got to win games and you're able to keep players, and yeah, they're not winning. So this is the byproduct of it. They're going to lose a couple players, and Texas is going to gain them because obviously they're on a great start. They're going to most likely be a playoff team, and yeah. So guys, that is pretty much our week 2 recap. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section what's going on, in recruiting. If you want to know anything that I did not bring up, hey, let me know what you guys think about again week 2. And look forward to talking to you guys later about week 3. Peace.